Hi guys, my name is Adam, but you can call me the Bearded Pole, and today we'll be talking all about the team of the year in FIFA. I'm not just going to be picking my team, obviously, because, I'm just a random dude. You probably don't know unless you come to my stream, twitch.tv/the Bearded Pole. Um, but I'm going to be talking about the selection process and how I think people will vote versus how I would have voted and what I think would be a fair vote. Essentially, the war for team of the year is the war between meta lovers and people who actually love real life football. And this highlights every element of FIFA. For example, a lot of people watching my stream told me don't pick Andrea Pirlo from icon swaps, and I picked him. You know why? Because I love Andrea Pirlo. For me, FIFA is a game about using your favorite players and having fun with them. Well, the fun part is kind of not always the case, but I think Pirlo was a good pick for me because he brought me a lot of fun over the last 2 weeks. Even in shit gameplay, he was always enjoyable. So, what do we have here? First, I'll show you what I think the team of the year should be if I were picking based on my impressions of the real life seasons the players had. Then I'll show you what I think an average FIFA player who loves the meta would pick. We can then compare them and basically see how much like that FIFA bias influences our decisions versus real life performances. Some of these will be my opinions. I think there's a lot of different picks when it comes to the real life ones. I think when it comes to FIFA, there's probably an optimal one. Let's get started with the goalies. In my opinion, this is the hardest pick of them all because all of these, except for maybe Onana, have a very good argument. All Black is probably the best pound for pound keeper in the world right now. Ter Stegen very close behind. Ederson playing for Manchester City, dominating the Premier League. Onana, as I said, I don't think he has a big argument there. It's more of a wow, Ajax have done well kind of pick. And then Allison, who has won the Champions League and really changed the way Liverpool play. And based on that change to Liverpool's style, I think it's only fair Allison is our first pick. I mean, compare them in the Champions League with Karius and with Allison. The difference is winning. Next up, we have the center backs and fullbacks, so the defense. Now, we can pick any number of fullbacks and center backs here, but I'm going to start with the obvious one. Another Liverpool player, unfortunately, it's Virgil van Dijk. And why Virgil? Well, I think I don't need to explain much. He has been the rock that Liverpool has been built on. He has changed their game completely, and they're probably going to win the league because of him as well. On top of their win of the last Champions League, that's a perfect center back there. But then it gets complicated. I think another Liverpool player deserves to get in here, and that's going to be Trent Alexander-Arnold. For a young player, he has been outstanding, and his influence on the Liverpool squad is monumental. He is just the perfect fullback for Jurgen Klopp's system, very much like Łukasz Piszczek was back in his Borussia days. So these two guys, let's put them together, make up the right side of my defense, you could say. And the next question is who will I pick after this? Because I think there is an argument for a lot of people here. Andy Robertson, great season for Liverpool. I think a bit of less of an influence than TAA, though. And that just kind of makes me think I don't want another Liverpool player here. It's unfortunate he's a victim of his own success in a way. Another option is, of course, Matthias de Ligt, and I'm very much leaning towards that, but his start of the season in Juventus wasn't the greatest. Mats Hummels fell off completely. Laporte, I don't think he's good enough. Tagliafico, great season for Ajax, but I don't think he is that good either. Vertonghen, what? That's a weird nominee right there. Skriniar, great season for Inter once again, but Jimenez, you see, there's a lot of choices here, but none of them are really good. But there is one choice I think that is very fair, and that's Joshua Kimmich, or Kimmich. He has been arguably a top two fullback in the world, arguably even more important and even better than Trent Alexander-Arnold. But Bayern haven't been performing as well. So the question is, what do you value, individual skill versus performance? But for me, Kimmich as a Philip Lahm regen, essentially, I think he deserves that spot. Along with, for the last pick, I actually changed my mind on this because originally I went with de Ligt, but decided that maybe I should give it to somebody else. Kalidou Koulibaly. Napoli's campaign of challenging Juventus didn't pan out quite as well as it should have, maybe, but Koulibaly was an instrumental part of them even having a chance. And he's just such a solid center back. Senegal got really unlucky last year in the World Cup as well. This year, of course, it's been a different story with no World Cup. But overall, I think if I were to choose a center back out of that group, it'd be Kalidou Koulibaly. It wouldn't be Sergio Ramos because I think Real had a very bad season. Jordi Alba is another one that you could consider maybe putting in instead of Koulibaly or Kimmich. But I'm just pretty confident about Koulibaly being the best individual player there to be picked. Although the Ligt as a kind of thank you Ajax for that wonderful story, feel-good pick could be an option as well. Next up, we have the center mids. I'm going to start off with the obvious one again. I'm just looking for him right now. The obvious one here, I think, for me, I'm a Chelsea fan, full disclosure, is going to be N'Golo Kanté. Just because I think on pure skill, he is the best center mid in the world at what he does. This kind of holding box-to-box play that he provides. He changes games. Look at Chelsea with him and without him. He is the most impactful player in a midfield position I've seen in a while, outside of the greats. So I think that's an obvious choice for me. You might disagree. Another option here, I think, for like a holding midfielder would be Fabinho. Next to him, a player who actually plays as a holding midfielder, but he's more of a regista. The man, the myth, the legend, Frankie de Jong. I think for a young player, he shows amazing maturity, amazing skill, and he made that Ajax side tick, man. He got them to the Champions League semifinal along with Donny van der Beek, who also could be in the discussion here. Van der Beek, not Van der Beek, by the way. But I think de Jong is a great choice here. And just as a recognition of what Ajax have achieved, I think he should be in there. The last pick is much harder. I think it's between Fabinho and Jorginho Wijnaldum. So the two Liverpool players. Of course, you can make an argument for Kevin De Bruyne. Christian Eriksen kind of makes the argument for me with his performances early in this season. Luka Modric has fallen off as well. So essentially, I think the choice here is between Wijnaldum, De Bruyne, and Fabinho. And I'm going to pick Wijnaldum just because I feel like he is very underrated. And like, for example, what he did in the Barcelona game, I don't think there's a lot of players who can bring that impact. So Jorginho Wijnaldum, in you go. And we get to the forwards. Now, this is going to be the part where I think there's going to be the most arguments. So let's just be clear on why I'm not choosing certain players. You'll notice that there's no Manchester City players here, just because I think they're a well-oiled team more than individual players. Kevin De Bruyne was injured most of the season. Otherwise, I would have put him in there for Wijnaldum or De Jong. Unfortunately, there isn't much choice here. I don't think Aguero is the best striker in the world. I don't think Sterling or Silva are the best wingers in the world. They're excellent players in an excellent system that just works. They don't make the team play better when they're there or not, because, I mean, they're obviously improvements over their replacements, but their replacements still hold their own. In a way, just like Robertson, they're victims of their team's success. In any other team, maybe I would have picked them. But I'm not picking them. Heung-min Son, I think Tottenham's start to the season, despite him being like one of the shining stars of among the ugly mud, I think he's just not good enough compared to the others. So that leaves us with the obvious pick, I think. Leo Messi. He has to go in there. I just want that to be done before we talk about Neymar. I'm not going to put Neymar in there because he was injured most of the season. Benzema, excellent season, not better than Robert Lewandowski or Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe, in my opinion, not better than Robert Lewandowski again, which brings me to my second pick, which is Robert Lewandowski. Now, you'll see the Pole in my name, and I'm actually Polish. I'm half Canadian and half Polish, so this is a bit of bias. But I think pound for pound, he's the best number 9 in the world. And he's growing his game every year. He's 31 now, and he plays better than when he was 29. So theoretically, he should slow down, but he's actually speeding up. And for the final pick, I had to pick a Liverpool player. I wanted to pick Eden Hazard at first, but his start at Real leaves a lot of question marks over that. Harry Kane, not just just not good enough again. Tottenham, great season last year, but this start of the season really disqualifies them. Kylian Mbappe, I think it's just not enough what we've seen from him so far to be team of the year. Cristiano Ronaldo, no, just not even the best player in the Serie A right now. Salah, I could see that. Aubameyang, unfortunately, the victim of Arsenal's meh form. So I think for me, it's between the three Liverpool guys, Salah, Mane, Firmino. I kind of want to say Firmino, but this season he's been underwhelming. Salah also dropped off a bit this season, so it's going to be Sadio Mane. I think somebody who deserves this. So this would be my team if I were to pick based on who I believe was the best team of 2019. Alisson, Van Dijk, Koulibaly, Alexander-Arnold, Kimmich, Kanté, Wijnaldum, De Jong, Lewandowski, Messi, Mane. But let's just get them all out of there. I don't know how to do that. Okay. But that's not a team that most people would pick for FIFA, because FIFA is a different beast. FIFA is all about the meta and who works well in the meta. Some of these players will be the same players, I believe, but some of them will be people who are completely different, and that's not a good thing in my opinion. So just based on who I think will be picked, let's start the other way around this time. Let's start with the forwards. I think everybody will want Neymar. 5-star, 5-star. That's the argument for FIFA. 5-star skills, 5-star skill moves. He was injured half the year, but nobody cares. Next to him, I think the person that people want to see the most this year is Mbappe. He is a good shout for an actual team of the year, but I feel like his contributions weren't good enough in 2019. 2018, I think he absolutely deserved it. Kind of like on that golden boy kind of hype. And next to them, it's going to be Leo Messi. I think the only one that actually deserves to be in there fully, just because he's better this year than Ronaldo, but we might actually see Mbappe and Ronaldo swapped in one of those final teams. It all depends on the fan vote. It's going to be very close, I think, between these two, because I think Neymar and Messi are lock-ins. Anybody else, I don't think is going to get in there. So Mbappe goes in there for me because I think he would be the most meta, and I believe a lot of players will be picking that just because he's a bit less clunky than Ronaldo this year. Did I mention I have read Ronaldo? I have read Ronaldo, and he's great, but he's kind of clunky, and I think people don't want to see that. Next up, the midfield. Now, this one is hard for me to tell. I'm just going to assume straight up that it's going to be Kanté. Again, I think deserved. But his stats will be just insane. He'll be an insane card. Everybody loves a Kanté card. I think this is the least controversial one both ways here. But next to him, I think it's probably going to be Kevin De Bruyne. Just because people playing FIFA love him. They loved this team of the season last year. He just needs that little bit of a boost to be that perfect meta card for midfield. 4-star, 5-star. You know where it's at, basically. The last guy, I think we might have a dark horse in Jadon Sancho because a lot of people love him. 5-star, 4-star as well. And you can get another forward in there. So that's always kind of attractive to players. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to be a Premier League player. And once again, if I'm going pure meta, it's going to be Wijnaldum. Just because he is meta, you know? His card will be the best box-to-box player in FIFA. Defenders. Let's just put the two I chose earlier back. Van Dijk and Alexander-Arnold are easy choices here. And for left back as well, just because people will say there's not enough left backs in the Premier League, it's going to be Robertson. Is it Liverpool going to get a clean sweep? Well, they can't. They don't have another center back. So for the last one, I think it's going to be a bit of same old. It's going to be Sergio Ramos, who I think is way over his best, but people will still want to pick him. And then finally, you have the goalie, and I don't think anybody cares here. I think it's going to be a Premier League goalie, and if it's going to be a Premier League goalie, it's going to be Alisson. I think the best FIFA goalie would be Ter Stegen, just based on, or Oblak, based on how they play, but people will pick Alisson because they want Premier League players. So as you can see, the difference between the two squads is that there is a lot more Premier League players. Essentially, the midfield and defense are all Premier League players. Then the forwards are Messi, who I picked myself, and then Neymar and Mbappe, so two PSG players who I don't think really deserve it. But the main problem here is that we can't, for example, have something like, hey, your favorite players of the year category and the best players of the year category that would be chosen, for example, by serious people who actually care about football. I think it was really nice when it was connected to the Ballon d'Or because at least some of the picks made sense. And this, we can see something like this where half of them make sense, but we can see something that where even less of them make sense. We can see, for example, somebody choosing Kai Havertz because he was OP last year and he doesn't deserve a Team of the Year. We can see Jordan Henderson in there. He's great, but he's not that good. But, Liverpool fans can vote it through. We can see Jadon Sancho, once again, never would deserve a Team of the Year in my mind, unless it's like a young player's Team of the Year. So we can see a lot of different things where FIFA drifts further and further from the football reality it's supposed to represent, which in a way I'm fine with, but I'm also disappointed with it because, for example, I think Robert Lewandowski deserves a Team of the Year, finally. He was 8th in the voting, so I think he'd maybe just about get in if it came to the Ballon d'Or. But here, if it was chosen by some people who are, less biased toward Messi and Ronaldo, maybe we'd get that. Who knows? But all in all, I think that EA really need to reconsider the system because it makes me really unhappy about the way it looks. Either way, thanks for watching. If you want to see me actually play FIFA, I suck at it, by the way. I'm a Gold 2, Gold 1 player. Please check out my stream at The Bearded Pole. My stream at Twitch TV/TheBeardedPole. I hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are, and just enjoy. I forgot the whole spiel of asking you to like and subscribe on camera, so just listen to my beautiful, beautiful voice asking you to like and subscribe and comment and all that good stuff. And once again, enjoy your day. Follow me on Twitch. Cheers.